I was looking at your testimony, and you said that the IMF forecast that was released earlier this week talked about the growth in the global economy that's gaining momentum, but the outlook for the United States economy has weakened. I am back to some of the comments that I made on opening. I'm just asking, what occurs to me is that what might help our growth is a comprehensive immigration policy where people are not working undercover, but they're actually openly contributing. Maybe $1 trillion over the next decade from immigration reform. Infrastructure, which I understand the World Bank has been advising the Trump administration on how to go forward with that. Certainly, taking these students out of debt, as opposed to giving the wealthiest people in our country a tax cut that they don't need. What about helping people get out of debt so that they can buy homes, so that they can use money in other ways, so that we can incentivize kids to go into physics and create the next generation of whatever, instead of not being able to do. Why don't you see investing in people as being the #1 method of growing our economy?
Thank you. Well, I do see investing in people as being very important for countries to grow, and that can be done in many ways. That's done at the home, that's done in schools, in primary schools, in secondary schools, and so on. And I think some countries around the world are making good progress in that area. I met
Do you think it would help the U.S. economy for us to do that? We're talking.
Well, we invest in dollar terms probably more than almost anyone in the world. So a challenge also is making it effective so that literacy is higher, so that people have skills that can be used in the current economy. That's one of the, so as we think about where the administration is trying to get reforms, these include reforms in the education area that would allow skills to be added to. But I want to go back to your original point of the IMF's forecast for global growth accelerating, which is good, and looking at the U.S. not accelerating in their forecast view. And that gets right to the core of where economics is. There is at the IMF sometimes the view that taxes don't matter so much in how people allocate capital or how they choose their education, how they interact with companies. And my view is that tax systems matter a lot. So the IMF has explicitly said that the tax reform, being considered in the U.S. Won't be that instrumental. I think that goes.
All right, let me move on. I got 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Yep.
Trickle down historically has not worked. So if it works this time, I'll be happy to say we're wrong, but it ain't worked. It's just created deficits. I was here in 2008 when Lehman Brothers collapsed. What are the most serious risks you think facing the global economy today, and what should we do to ensure stability in the global economy?
Yeah, thank you. That was a terrible period for the world that hurt not only financial markets, but it hurt real people, and so I share that concern, and that's part of what government does and should do in terms of looking for vulnerabilities in the world economy. I guess one that is relevant to us today is over-indebtedness by some of by countries around the world.
We are over-indebted in the United States, right? So is this a time to give tax breaks to rich people, considering that we're in debt, 1.5 trillion?
So I think it's a time to push for faster growth than what we've been experiencing. So the U.S. has been in a very
faster
slow
growth.
phase.
I mean, maybe infrastructure instead of tax cuts.
I think the biggest obstacle to faster growth right now is the corporate tax rate is 35%.
I mean, people don't pay that. Some corporations pay nothing.
Yeah, but even if their effective rate is below the 35%, they're often employing rafts of lawyers in order to reduce that effective rate. The statutory rate of 35% blocks investment in the U.S. and job creation in the U.S., and it's a powerful deterrent.